I saw his podcast.
Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judge has exposed an SAN who tried to bribe her so that she can write off the case and, of course, give a judgment in accordance with their favor. And she has vowed and assured the SAN to try it again, and he will face a serious jail term. A Honorable Justice Ngozi Nzenge has revealed a son is trying to bribe her, and she said God will punish anybody who try to collect such money from that person. Justice Flora Ngozi Azinge has cried out that a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, is attempting to bribe her, according to a report. Azinge is the chairman of a Kano State National and State Houses of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal. Speaking in open court before the commencement of the session on Tuesday in Kano, the judge lamented how senior lawyers particularly engage in the unethical practice. Although she did not disclose the identity of the senior lawyer, MS Azinge said the SAN in question has a pending case before the tribunal. A senior advocate of Nigeria who has a pending case before me is attempting to bribe me. Money has been flying in this tribunal since yesterday. Whoever collects money on my behalf, God will punish that person and his generation yet unborn to the fourth generation, she said. They keep abusing judges, insulting us every day in the papers, in the media, that we are taking bribe. Let me report again that nobody should approach me with money again. I am contented with what God has given me and I have a roof over my head, she said. But Eyatayo Fatagun, who was present in the court for a matter, stood up on behalf of all lawyers present and urged the judge to escalate the matter to the appropriate authorities. To bolster his argument, the senior counsel said he was privy to cases where judges who failed to report cases of this nature were cited for judicial misconduct. Now, you see, it is very funny that some people have come out to bribe Ngozi Azinge, which is an honorable judge that is involved in this presidential election petition tribunal case. Of course, that is why when you wake up, you see some of this SAN, you begin to wonder, how did they become lawyers? Talk more of becoming an SAN. You see some judgment they pass in the court, some argument they make in the court, you begin to wonder, which law school did they go through? Did they really go through the law school, or did the law school go through them? That is the question left to be answered. How can a judge say that Tinubu did not forfeit $460,000? It was his account. A senior advocate officer is saying this thing. A full SAN is saying that it is Tinubu's account that was used, not Tinubu himself. That the forfeiture was as a result of the money that was seen in the account. That is why they begin to win different kind of cases. You hear they won this case, they won this case. You don't know that they are only winning this case because of the level at which they fly money on the faces of the judges. And these judges will become a victim. And then they will turn around and say that it is the judges that is demanding for a bribe. Look at the whole cases that is happening in court. At this point, you have SAN defending a particular kind of crime that is committed in the court, and you call it a notion where it is obvious that Tinubu did not win this case. But you have Olenipekun saying that once your passport expires, your citizenship expires. Is it not funny? And how did this kind of people become SAN?
Actually be the life, the energy.
Of course, the Nigerian younger generations are doing everything possible to see that justice is being served. But an elderly man who cannot prove the way he became an SAN is busy trying to ridicule the case and win a battle for a man we are seeing that his case is already a failed case. This is one reason I will say it and again and I will say it again, that those who destroy this country, those who destroy this country are the elders, not even the younger ones, and are beginning to initiate the younger ones into this evil that they destroyed. But not forgetting, we still have the presidential election petition tribunal key questions the judges will have to resolve on a yes and no basis. So before I go into it, let me make it a last reminder that whoever that is trying to bribe its way, knowing fully well that they have already lost this case, they should know that the Nigerians, the younger Nigerians, are watching them. We need a case to be delivered. A case must be delivered. Whether you like it or not, justice must be served. And that is the key question that is left to be answered. Justice must be served. Now, whether forfeiture is same as fine, that's number one thing they need to answer, yes or no. If forfeiture is a fine, whether Tinubu was liable for the fine for dishonesty. This is where you have another son defending this man who did not win this election. If forfeiture is a fine, whether Tinubu was liable for that fine for dishonesty. Thereby, they are saying that it is not Tinubu that was liable for the forfeiture, but his account was liable for it. What kind of lie is that? When a court in Chicago ruled that he was the one involved in money laundering and dishonesty, whether the order by a court in USA is conclusive, whether the said fine contravenes section 137 1D of the Constitution of Nigeria, whether the said fine would be considered under section 137 1E of the Constitution of Nigeria, whether Shettima knowingly allowed himself to be nominated as a candidate for the office of Vice President and Senate at the same time, whether upon the resignation of Masari as the Vice President for Tinubu, APC failed to nominate and forward to INEC a replacement within the 14 days period, whether Peter Obi is a member and was validly sponsored by Labour Party as presidential candidate, whether the Electoral Act and INEC regulations made it mandatory to the transmission of results on Form EC8A onto the IREV and collation system at the polling unit, whether collation at the ward level can proceed without ascertaining the accreditation number on the hard copy of Form EC8A with the accreditation displayed on physical beavers machine, whether collation at the ward level can proceed without ascertaining the votes scored by political parties on the hard copy from EC8 with that in the uploaded copy of EC8A on the IREV, whether the INEC hard copy result on Form EC8A must be a mirror copy of the Form EC8A scanned by beavers and uploaded onto the IREV, whether result not ascertained by the uploaded copy is invalid, whether CTC results uploaded onto the IREV but unreadable be considered invalid, whether CTC original results sheets that are unreadable be considered invalid, whether INEC is at liberty to upload unverified or unreliable results onto the IREV to be viewed by the Nigerian public, whether invalid result be cancelled according to section 51 subsection 2 of the Electoral Act, whether their polling units were overvoting occurred. Now, these are some questions that they are going to answer. I'm going to take my time to read out this thing, and by the time we read it out, we're going to give the core answers that is needed. But one thing is sure, that this APC are doing everything possible to make sure that they bribe their way. They already know that their case is already a failed case. They cannot handle the shock that is coming out. But at the end of the day, they have to handle it. Thanks for supporting the Future News. Peace.